Hi guys, welcome back to TNG Productions and a special international version of our match report. So I'm here with Stig from STF, which is...
Spillforeningen The Fellowship.
Spillforeningen The Fellowship?
Yeah.
Close enough, I'll take it.
Yeah, it's close enough, we'll leave that.
Who's kindly came all the way from Norway. Yeah. Very, very similar channel to ours, and we'll put a link below, and in our featured channels you can check them out. But you came to play a wonderful game of Guild Ball, post errata.
Yeah,
the errata hit this week, so who are you bringing?
I am bringing the NerfBat team.
The NerfBat team?
No, that's perfectly. They seem to be okay, but I did have a big go at them the last days. It hit in a couple of days afterwards.
Been on that keyboard just really angrily, kind of like half time. So it's the Alchemist, just in case you weren't aware, who have been changed.
Quite a bit, yeah.
Quite substantially, and you're very much a Midas player.
For the most part, yeah.
So in this match report you will see Midas, Harry and Vitriol, three of the perhaps big offenders or big offended nerf-batted players.
Well, I think they call it balancing and simplification, I believe they were. So, well, yeah. It was too complicated, some of the poor ones. That was one of their justifications, anyway.
The Midas had too much on his card and things like that.
Yeah, something like that. And that I thought was perhaps a little weak, maybe, but okay, fair enough. It's something they need to think of as well.
It's the wrath of Jamie Perkins with his nerf hammering things.
Well, it's someone anyway.
So it's first time we're having the Alchemist on the channel, and I've been super looking forward to actually having an Alchemist team. I'm bringing Pinvice's Engineers, which is quite interesting thematically, because we've got two guilds who are, supposedly, on good terms. This is very much a friendly...
It's a fairly good friendly game, and maybe they're practice partners for all we know, I'm not sure.
We've got two footballing teams against each other as well, which always tends to be the best match reports that we get.
Yeah, very interesting. You can end up setting up pretty interesting plays for them.
So we will go to the team lineups in a moment and let you know how the match goes. We'll catch you in a second.
Right, so my lineup here is from the left. I'm giving Harry a go. I'm uncertain, but let's have a go at him. Maybe he's not as bad as I feared. We'll see.
A lot of thought has gone into the Harry pick, hasn't it?
Yeah, quite a lot actually. It's been a big debate between Harry and Avarice and Greed, but we'll give Harry a go. He's been a trooper, really.
He's taken the nerf bat well.
He's taken the nerf bat well, and let's see how badly it's actually hit him. We shall see. Next we have Calculus. I do enjoy her, as she also gives both a little area control. She has the blind. It's also both very excellent abilities. She gives out a little more conditions, and that's always useful. Next we have Vitriol.
I'm terrified of Vitriol, even though she's been nerfed. It's just the 2-inch melee and the goal scoring threat.
We'll see how badly she actually has it. Someone told me that she's perfectly fine. J. Claire manages it. Well,
in that case,
us
mortals should be.
Yeah, I was also thinking something along the lines of, well, yes, Messi's also pretty good. Yeah. In a sense, I suppose I can take it as an honor that he actually compared me to J. Claire.
There we go.
We'll leave it at that.
Speaking of nerf bats, you've got Captain Midas.
Yeah, I'm basically giving my normal lineup a go. To see how the changes has affected them, really. I expect him to do fairly well. He does have a slightly lower threat range, as he does super shot. But other than that, he is more or less the same.
He's kept that heroic dodge, hasn't he, which is huge for getting him out of tied up situations.
He also has a good access to push dodges as well. So he's still as mobile and close to as dangerous as ever. I always have Catalyst with me, one or the other. This is the ordinary or original Catalyst. It's always a nice staple. It's either him or Veteran Catalyst, but
you've gone for Flaming Boy.
I'm going for Flaming Boy. He's a little safer and generally does everything I need him to do. He needs to be in the center, taking the hits and dealing the hits.
Slapping.
Yes, and he's fairly good at that, so we'll leave it there. And last and least, at least size-wise.
You say that, if you give her the ball, I'm pretty much stuffed here. She's a nightmare.
Yeah, she is probably the ball killer of the team by large. Naja, I do enjoy using Naja. There's a lot of people that enjoy Flask. I see their point.
Yeah.
I just like the snake.
Yeah, the snake's great.
The snake's good.
You also play Venin sometimes, don't you? So it's nice thematically, I think, to have them together.
Yeah, I do switch out Calculus for Venin every now and again, just depending on matchup. The matchup we have here with essentially with engineers, I think probably Venin will have a bad time.
Whereas Calculus is a bit more.
She's a little safer, and she also provides the blind, which can
really mess them up.
Mess up your passing game.
Yeah. Can we appreciate how beautifully painted the models are as well? I'm sure we'll see plenty of close-ups as the match progresses, but they are stunning.
And they are, and all shout out to Sebastian at SG Miniatures for actually making these for me. So that's an amazing job.
Yeah, we'll chuck a link in the description so people can see more of the work. I'm sure there's plenty to showcase, especially with the Ardacon models we were just talking before on camera about. Some potential stunning prizes that are being painted.
And Nova this year will have at least one amazing model of a kind I'm not supposed to talk about, that you'll see.
Right then, so we will go to the engineers back in a second. And here are my engineers, which we've just called the Chunky Monkeys by their large base sizes, trying to fit them on camera. We have got all the machines with pin vice once again. So we've got Velocity, just simply because of her pure goal scoring ability. I think, compare her to the veteran, you've got to take the main Velocity just to try and bang some goals in. We've got Mother with her wonderful nests and webbing, which I think is going to be very useful against potentially a football-orientated team. We have got Compound, the big, smelly gentleman in goal, just trying to stodge up the back end. Obviously, Pinvice, the wonderful battery that she is. Colossus, which a lot of engineers players say is almost an auto-include for the team. I haven't really used him that much, so I'll be very interested to see how he gets on. And my boy Locus at the end there for his wonderful suite of kind of character plays. I've just realised story-wise, engineers and alchemists, they're supposed to be mates, aren't they? They're supposed to get on quite well, so...
It should be a big, nice, friendly
game. A friendly game. Apart from the fact Velocity's there, and maybe the alchemists killed Quistis, but we'll...
and minor details.
Well,
we do share a compound as
exactly.
Well as a player.
So we've clearly, the engineers have clearly paid their fee for compound for this match.
It does seem so, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
I'm also very excited to play against engineers. It'll be actually my first time ever playing
against them.
Really?
Fantastic. I said I rarely ever play Alchemists. This is going to be both of us kind of going, well, what does your model do? Well, what does your model do?
Yeah, it'll be a fair bit of that, perhaps both on and off camera.
Yeah.
So I will have to have a go at these. There are actually no players in Norway with engineers per now.
Really?
Not a single one.
We have got no local players with Alchemists either, so it'll be nice to see the two kind of footballing teams, strong passing teams going at it. So we will go to the kickoff. We'll be back in a second. Right then, so to the roll-off. Here we go. That's a 5 for me and a 1 for you, sir. So I will receive the ball, please.
We'll receive the ball.
So we will go to the kickoff. See that vitriol presence, I'm already worried.
No, we shall see. Right, we'll have a go. I'm getting it slightly out to the left field. We have white for direction.
Oh, she's got to roll for a kick first, doesn't she?
Yeah, she can. I can also see if she actually does
succeed.
She should be okay.
She should be fine.
Look at that!
Okay. All of the successes.
She's okay.
So it was 4 and 4. Would you like to keep that, or would you like to roll again?
I'll re-roll that.
Yeah.
So white direction again. So 4 and 4. So
the gods have decided that it is.
It is going to be a 4 and a 4.
4 and 4.
That is okay then. So we have no say in this.
The Velocity's decided she's going that way.
Yeah.
So we are going to the allocation for turn 1. So this is how things look at the start of turn 1. We've got Locus and Colossus nearby to the ball with 3 influence each. Compound's got 1 on him just to hopefully put his stinkiness up. We've got 2 on Pinvice. I think she can sometimes be a battery rather than an actual kind of like damage dealer, especially when she's away from everything. 1 on Mother, just in case nests need to be used, and then 3 on Velocity at the far end. How about you, mate?
I got 4 on Vitriol for her normal kickoff pressure.
Yes.
she's still perfectly fine at doing that. Even 2 inches less is as much as Mist has to begin with, so it's perfectly okay.
When she's next to the cover, there's so much terrain on the pitch that she's always going to be fast, isn't she?
At least I'll have to actually struggle a little bit to actually have her outside of cover. Other than that, we have Catalyst just behind her. He does not have anything. He won't really get to do much the first turn, so I generally never have more than maybe 1 on him.
Is he starting on fire in the first turn, does he?
Always.
Always on fire.
He gets fire.
So he's just going to stand there kind of like shouting at the flames. Harry?
Harry has 2.
His normal little Molotov goatee.
Yeah, in case of gold, at least a Molotov somewhere. Naja doesn't have anything, she's okay for there. Midas has 4. I find that's usually where I have
a good balance for him.
In some cases he gets the full 6, but for the most part he has 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And we have 3 on Calculus this turn, since usually it's the first 1 or 2 turns that really is her defining moments where she can actually do something before she is in the middle of everything.
Yeah, before she gets dragged into a ruck and kind of beaten.
Yes, that's fairly frequently the case.
So we will go to the Engineers turn 1 first activation. Back in a sec. Right, so we are going to start with Locust then, because we are terrified of Velocity in her threat range. So basically, Locust is going to walk up 4 inches, because he's a chunky monkey, and just stand just at the very edge of 8. He'll snap the ball, and he'll spend 1 of his 3 to kick it backwards to Colossus. So he's got a 4 dice kick. Let's see how this first dice roll goes. Nails it, success. The ball will go back to Colossus, who is simply going to make a bit of a 4-inch dodge backwards because I'm a coward. So I'm simply going to nudge myself diagonally just backwards to that position there, which you can see just in shot, which is just within the cover of the goal as well. So I spent the momentum that I generated. However, I'm then going to spend these 2 to try, and I do say try, destructive impulse velocity. So that'll be 2 dice. I need a 5+, I believe.
Yes, a 5.
And we get 2 2s. Never mind. Going to try and go for a little bit of a shove away from that cover to kind of nudge her away. But that
was a nice try.
It was a nice try. You tried your best, Locus. It still wasn't any good. But we'll go back to the Alchemists.
Right, it'll be a nice little simple activation. Just have catalysts just moving right up here.
Getting ready for that new I've been burned dodge.
Yeah, we'll have to see how it works then, doesn't it? So just behind here, it's within her engagement zone. We'll actually just nudge right up there. So with the hand forward as well, it's perfect.
He's doing a little shove on the bum, ready to go.
Little burning shove on the bum.
You can imagine with the lashes.
I would kind of imagine she'll just give a good whack with a cane on the way.
Slap on the side of her mouth. Right, so we'll go back to the Scaredy Cat Engineers. Pretty straightforward one for me. Compound is going to go next. He's going to spend 1 to stink up the place with his horrific, deadly, smelly odour. And he's just going to scoot himself back to that position there. Back to you, mate.
Yeah. Right, so we'll just sprint up with Calculus and up to this position. Spending 2 for a little noxious blast. Put our little poison out.
Poor Pinvice and the spider.
So we're getting both of them fairly comfortably. So we'll have a go, see how it goes.
It's 5s for Pinvice.
5 for Pinvice, yeah.
And she is hit. Is it
2 damage and poison?
2 damage and poison. And the spider is a 4+. The spider dodges it somehow.
This is okay, yeah.
There we go then. So she's kind of already chucking out some nasty poison.
Yeah, I need to do her job, you know. She has a bug spray after all, it needs to be used.
Just wafting it across the pitch.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for Pinbite, she's got the stink of compound and now the stink of noxious gas everywhere. She's not having a good time.
That's more than likely why it's actually some of it actually hit her.
Right, we'll go back to the Engineers. Okay, so we'll go with the Spider, which has got a 7-inch sprint, 5-inch base move, so it's basically going to move to about there. And then, for free, it's going to chuck out
a nest. Just there. And then it's going to spend its 1 influence to burrow, pop out in base contact with Calculus and make a free attack, which you'll be lucky to do anything with, but 3 attack, I might be able to get a point of damage just to annoy her a little bit.
Yeah,
so she's, what, 4s and 1?
She's 4 and 1, yeah.
Never mind, Spider, you tried.
So far it's been a lot of trying.
The engineers have got passion, which is weird for robots. But yeah, we will go back to the Alchemists.
Yeah, nice and simple with Narsha. Just rushing up that general direction. I'm reasonably sure what's happening on the other side.
I'm glad you are. Because
Maybe I shouldn't tell you too much of what
you
you're
give me
doing.
too much credit, yeah, this is it.
So I shouldn't tell you what you're
What
doing.
my own strategy is, yeah.
Okay. I'll try to keep that in mind. Wasn't it Napoleon that said don't interrupt your enemy's mistakes?
Yeah, I think that's probably the best way to go with my Guild Ball plan. So Naha's just kind of slithered up to stare down her fellow mascot foe.
Yeah. I don't think she's quite in engagement range, but I can have a little look. She has 2 inches.
Just a teeny bit out.
Yeah, that's fine. I wasn't expecting her to get there.
Right, we'll see what this bad plan is.
Right, poorly Pinvice is not enjoying life at the moment. She is going to spend 1 of her influence to put Alternator on Colossus. She is then going to trigger her legendary play, because I never use it, so I might as well, which is well-oiled machine. So in a second I'll put the token on all the players. That basically gives them their free pass if they need it. And she's going to move her simple little move. She's got 7 inches to play with, so she's going to move just to there. And she is going to then, because Alternator is not once per turn, spend another 1 to chuck Alternator on Velocity as well. So that's the +2 movement for both of those. And she's just going to stand there, feeling a little bit poorly and sorry,
Feeling slightly poisoned.
just coughing a little bit. So we'll go back to the Alchemists.
Right, so we'll have a go with Harry, spending 1 to sprint and 1 for Molotov. So then he has good 6 inches here. I could actually probably get away without doing that, but there's no point. There's nothing else useful he can do. Goading someone who's already been activated is pointless. So I'll just go forward there. Just put that on my... Put in right up here. Chuck down the Molotov.
Just try and put off a charge on poor Calculus, basically, isn't it?
It is. You can still probably get it off, but at least it'll cost you something.
Exactly.
It basically will put you on fire.
Right then, so let's go back to the engineers.
Are we ready for some engineers ping pong, ladies and gentlemen? This will rely entirely on my dice rolling ability, which is interesting. We're going to try and get the ball to velocity, because screw it, it's funny. So, rule of cool. So, Colossus is going to spend 1 to kick the ball to compound. He's got 4 dice on his kick. Oh!
It's okay.
It's okay. The ball goes there.
Don't worry.
Compound is going to spend his token.
Yep.
So that generates me a point of momentum, but I am going to spend it for this bonus time because his kick is rubbish. He's going to try and kick the ball to Pinvice, who's got 2 dice kick plus the 1 for the bonus time. So she is within the 6 inches needed. Again, we're flying by the seat of our pants. That is successful. Ping to her. That generates me a point of momentum. She's going to spend hers to kick the ball to velocity.
All is well. It will not just fly off the pitch.
4 dice kick. Hey, she is successful. And velocity is going to spend the momentum that would generate to make a 4-inch dodge just straight up to that position there. So, rule of cool worked out quite well there. I think my dice rolling is usually quite rubbish, but that does leave Colossus, poor Colossus, with 2 influence that you can't really use much with. He's got a 10-inch charge, but as you can see here, he would have to go through and be flambéed a little bit, which would reduce it down.
So he doesn't actually get there.
Yeah, so basically he's got an 8-inch base move, which he can take advantage of. And I'm worried about Vitriol coming in and just kind of like churning momentum off him, because
She can do that.
she's
comfortably.
very comfortably. So basically he's just going to move to that position there. And I'll have 2 that's unspent, and he will take a point of damage from Alternator. But the ball's got to velocity, and realistically as an Engineers player, you want the ball to be at velocities. So we'll go back to the Alchemists.
Right. Let's see what the Vitriol can do.
You need some momentum, don't you? So you're going to try and churn some off the mascot.
I'm gonna get a bit of a mascot, yeah.
So we're going to see a new errata'd play.
Yeah, so that's the 2-inch of I've been burned before. Well helped by
Catalyst.
Catalyst.
So it's a 2-inch dodge if she's near someone who's poisoned or burning, basically.
Yeah, it's directly away from the ball.
There we go.
And that's perfectly fine. And then we have a little gander over this direction.
Easy little walk. So, and I'll just gently scoot that away. So 2-inch melee, so I can't do anything in terms of countering or anything.
No, so then we'll just start wailing
On it. So you've got 5-tap base, which goes up to 6 because calculus is ganging up.
That's pretty okay. Let's see how that goes.
So it's 4s and 1 you are after. So
It's 2 hits.
2 hits.
That's a momentous push dodge. That'll do fine. And I'll push you just
Into
into
the cover.
the cover. And follow.
And get the attack boost.
Yeah. I'll just follow in there.
Lovely.
So that gives me 1 extra die and 1 momentum. Which is quite nice. So then we have the same ones and we adding another die. It's quite lovely.
Yeah, she can still get that attack up there, especially with the amount of cover that's knocking around.
Yeah.
So 4s and 1 again.
So that's 3 hits.
4s and 1. So that's the 3.
It's a 3, yeah.
So 2 hits.
2 hits. That's another momentous push dodge. That's perfectly fine. Then I can put it a little further down, and I think we get Nodra as well, don't we?
Look at this. This is tactical play at its finest. So you gain another dice there.
So that's 8.
8 attacks she's got herself up to straight away. So you're on your 3rd round of attacks now, yeah?
That's my 3rd, yeah.
So
then we have 2 momentum, and hopefully things will go well.
still 4s and 1 for the poor little spider.
Yeah.
The momentum machine that it is. And that is much better, isn't it? So that's 4 hits.
4
there.
hits. I think we'll get my. I guess we can do a momentous. I guess we can do a momentous clone because we can.
Yeah, pop up the clone, it's always a bit safer.
Now, just in case, but
Let's-
realistically, there's no threat.
This
there.
Velocity's really keen on going after her. And then final round of attacks this will be, mate. And you've got your 3 momentum you're up to and 8 tack.
Not too bad.
Not bad at all. Vitriol's doing exactly what she needed to. Gives Mida something to do.
The difference is I can't actually do more damage anymore, but that's okay too. So that's 4 hits as well. So I can actually do a little damage on her this time, I suppose. 3, getting 4 momentum is actually pretty good. So I'll do a push dodge again.
Another push dodge. So that's up to 4 momentum. That puts you in a very strong position to start the next turn. So poor spider. It's just like a vending machine for momentum.
At least for this. This
And
quite useful.
we'll see what velocity can do.
You know things are going well when you just turn around and go, screw it, I might as well try it. So we're going to push our dice rolling luck with Kick. So Velocity is going to spend 1 of her 3 to make an acrobatic 2-inch dodge to this position here. Because she has Alternator on her, which I almost forgot that she had, she's got a 10-inch sprint. So she is going to sprint to this position here. And then she is going to spend her last influence to have a shot on the goal. So she has got a 4 dice kick of velocity. And I hope that I didn't use up all my good dice rolling.
Oh, come on. 4 dice should be fine.
Should be. So I'm going to spend my 1 momentum, obviously, for the kick.
Yep.
Come on, girl. That is a 6, that's fine. 1 went off the table, so I'll re-roll it just in case it's a screamer. It's not, it's a miss, but we've got
You got your
1 in the bag, thank God. And
So that's something.
that is a point of momentum. I'm aware of a lot of things potentially happening here with Midas, and you have probably got the momentum race, so I'm actually going to spend that momentum to make a 4-inch dodge. And I'm simply going to reverse velocity, put her in reverse gear, just to that position there, just behind. Actually, no, just to there, just so she's within an inch of the cover.
That's perfectly fine.
And she will.
She's also nice and close to Vitriol for next round.
Yeah, exactly. For a lot of slapping near the cover and everything, Vitriol can walk around and hurt things. So, yeah, we'll go with.
Who needs a beater when you have a striker?
Yeah, right. Do you know what? You've talked me out of it now. I'm going to go there. I'm fearful of everything. Vitriol can just push dodge me in. No, you're not. You're psyching me out here. This is Norwegian mental tactics. But yeah, we've got goal influence, 4 points on the board. You know, I'll take that for the whole match. You can go and beat me up now. So over to Midas and the kick out.
So right.
After a lot of measuring,
Yeah, after a bit of conversation.
thinking it through.
Yeah. You can also see the ball just next to Harry.
We've just noted that Midas losing his super shot has
Was basically meaning he could actually come.
could have gone for the goal, but Vitriol's in such a good place that she can get it next turn realistically.
With 4 momentum and you on 1.
I'm on 0, but nothing.
Series.
So you've got this roll off, I think.
More than likely, hopefully anyway. So I'll just basically generate a bit more, as well as putting Midas in a place where he can respond to your 2 strikers, which are both in this area.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have a tennis match basically with the ball, aren't we? Potentially
It's potentially that, but also means that I need to have a piece in there that can
interrupt.
that can be disruptive.
Yeah.
in the tennis play. So we're trying that. So we're just doing our 2-inch dodge first.
So that's his heroic play.
That's his heroic play.
So it's what's it called? Is it
Promise of fortune.
Promise of Fortune? That's it. 2-inch dodge, which he's kept because obviously Midas needs his 2-inch dodge. At least he hasn't got his armor that goes with it.
He's also lost his light-footed.
Yeah.
That's sometimes I've been having a lot of fun with.
He's got an 8-inch charge.
Yes,
So if he basically charges easily along this line here, as you can see on camera, he can easily get there.
So he'll basically go straight ahead, and I'll have that.
At velocity there.
Yeah.
So velocity is within an inch of cover. I think after all that toing and throwing, she is technically there.
He's technically there. So let's go at it. So that makes it 10 dice.
So yeah, 6 up to 4, -1 for the cover.
So we basically have 9 dice.
Yes.
Because of the cover. So that's 5. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 from charge. Hopefully.
After 5 pluses, ideally 3 or 4 hits, really, aren't we?
3 hits is my hope. If I get more than that, that's okay.
That's where we start hitting the momentous push dodges and stuff.
If I get 5, then I'll be.
That'd be brilliant.
That
It'll
would
be
be brilliant.
double push dodge. So 5 pluses you're after. Oh, it's not bad.
It's close. There.
And then another one
2
there.
more.
Look
That
at
is
that.
5
That's
hits.
5. That is exactly what you were after.
That would be then essentially it's the double dodge, double push.
Yep.
Which basically pushes you well into Naja, and I'm following.
Yep. Slapping range is essentially going to occur here.
Something along those lines.
So that has put velocity in a bit of trouble for the kick out potentially. It's a very good tactical move because it robs me of a striker pretty much, doesn't it?
More or less. There.
Still got 2 influence to play with.
Yeah. So I guess we can just keep banging on her.
So he's 6 stack, -1, +1.
So now we're basically at 6.
Yep, so we're at 6 again.
That's okay. Could maybe push her out, but I also don't want her to be able to get the angle so she can run off.
Yeah, exactly. She's tricky with that. So she's got 5 pluses again.
Yeah. So that's okay for there. It's just 2.
2 hits.
That's so I can get that. 4. I think it's enough for this. I'll do a push dodge.
Another push dodge? I'm getting flashbacks of playing Season 2 Midas here with all the push dodges. That was what his vile speciality was. He'd come in with his stack of 7, push dodge you halfway down the pitch, and then let someone else come and murderize you.
So then we do that, and do one last one. So hopefully I can essentially trap you in there.
Yeah, pin her in.
That's the plan anyway. And then we get another
Not
couple.
bad. So that's 2 hits.
Another 2. So I'll just do momentous dodge there.
Momentous dodge.
So then I'll be here.
There we go.
So if you're escaping anywhere, it'll be painful.
And that puts you on 5 momentum. So, easy question for you, sir. For the next turn, would you like to go first or second?
I will probably want to do the first turn, and
No problem.
it seems prudent.
It does. So that generates me a point of momentum, and we will go to turn 2, allocation. So this is how things look at the start of turn 2, and there's a lot of deliberation on kind of how to potentially get this ball, because a dead ball is not great when you've got engineers around, is it really?
No, it's not very great at all. You can fairly comfortably get it as it is.
So I've got 2 on Locust. There's a lot of debate on whether to do the 4 or the 2, because maybe if the ball got kicked out, he could do the whole run up, kick it at his feet trick, hope it scatters, and then remote control it into the goal. But it's too circumstantial, and I've really pushed my luck with kicks in this game. So Colossus has got 4 instead, because I think he can reliably do more with it.
He should be able to.
And also he'll ignore the rough ground, so he's not too bothered. 1 on compound, just in case he needs to put his stink up or maybe move forward.
Mm-hmm.
3 on Pin Vice, again, not stacking her yet. I think she's very much a late game piece, Pin Vice, presuming she's still alive by then.
There is that.
In the sense of she can really churn some momentum when you need it, or use controller to win the game, but at the moment she's quite happy at the back. 1 on Mother, just in case of ball fetching duties, and 3 on Velocity at the back, just because she's a pain with Reanimate. 3 models here with Reanimate is a bit of an annoyance, so
That is true.
so we'll hope she can stack it. And then for you, sir, you've got your Alchemist. You've got 4 on Catalyst on the near side, is that?
I believe so, yes. So in one sense, it's making sure that if you go up here, then you are going to
Pay for it.
pay. That's one sense. And the other sense is that he's now getting to the kind of threat range level where he needs to be. But to get him effective, I essentially need to get him a bit closer.
Yes.
Which is what I want to basically be doing. I want to get it with Harry.
And then you can start making use of that gorgeous hat with all of the dodges.
So I'm essentially going to be picking this up with Harry and up there, but I also looked at several options actually, just grabbing it here and trying to get it through here as well, which is interesting, but it is
The
also,
dice would be tricky, wouldn't they?
It would be down to about 50-50, and that's not really good odds. It's 55% or whatever it is. It's not bad, but it's not good enough.
So we've got 2 on Harry for his control piece mechanics, or in case he needs to generate some pushes or whatever he needs.
Essentially. So what we'll have is he'll just use his wands, just get the ball, and it's going to be passing it to him.
We've got Vitriol on 4, is that?
Vitriol is 4.
And Midas is on
He has 3.
3, which is all he really needs, and then Naha at the back.
She'll be.
She's just there to engage.
She's there
and annoy.
to be annoying, essentially.
So we will go to the Alchemist's first turn. Back in a second.
Right, so let's hope the dice gods are on our side. Otherwise, it'll be a very embarrassing and very fun turn to begin with.
So we'll start with Harry.
It'll be Harry, yeah. He's using 1 throw his Molotov up here just to make a little bit of a issue here. So Colossus will have to make a bit of an awkward path to get there if he doesn't take the fire. Then, if he does avoid the fire, he'll basically be in very...
Catalyst pain range.
He'll be in catalyst range. But since I actually allocated a fair bit to him, I need to actually also make him effective.
Yeah.
Which also means I use Harry first, just basically ganders off here slightly and gets the ball. And he has his pass.
He's going to kick it to Catalyst.
The catalyst.
So 2 dice kick.
So 2 dice kick. It's not great, but hopefully it'll do. No, I see. Make sure he has 4 inches as well. That also is kind of useful. when we're getting into that kind of useful part. So it also actually is a reason for him to go a little closer.
Yeah.
So let's hope.
Yeah. Oh, got away with it. The 2 was trying.
The 2 was trying.
But luckily the stack of influence saved us. That's a successful pass, which generates you a point of momentum.
I can breathe.
You can breathe easy there.
So that there gives me the momentum, which essentially will be spent immediately to get myself up here.
But you can dodge for free, can't you, within the hat?
I can, which is awesome. So the hat comes to use.
I'm glad that he still kept it as a passive ability, as a trait. I think if he would have had it as a heroic, as a lot of people are calling for, I think it really just loses identity a little bit.
It does. I do put myself a little bit at risk for this gentleman up here, but it's okay. He has a good knockdown. That he does. And so does this guy, so, and then you get a random scatter.
Exactly, so we will
and
have
with
to
my
see.
turn afterwards, then we will see if the dice gods are okay, then Vitriol gets a free pass to go.
Yeah, pretty much ready to go. So we will go back to the engineers and see what they do.
So I think we're probably going to have to go Colossus for this one because Locust really needed that extra one to kind of go for the knockdown and the remote control. So Colossus ignores the rough ground because he's a big sturdy man. He is going to charge for 2 up to this position here, staying out of 2 inches of Harry, out of 2 inches of Vitriol, out of 1 inch of Catalyst. He has got 1 inch melee range, hasn't he, Catalyst? Or not?
That's right. The veteran has it.
It's the veteran that I'd be terrified of. So he's got 5 attack base, plus 4 for the charge. We're after 3s and 1. Would you like a defensive stance or anything? No. 3s and 1. See how we do. Oh, that's a lot of misses. Look at that.
So 1 off for armor, that's like 3 hits or something?
3 hits, which is 1 off the unexpected arrival, which we were kind of hopeful for, but it's enough for a momentous tackle, which I will take, because he hasn't got close control or anything dodgy like that. We'll spend 1 to swing again on the big man.
Yep.
Disappointing there, very disappointing. So, 5 attack. 1 hit, that's not great. That's going to be the singled out.
Yep.
And then we have questions.
Then we have questions.
Yeah, we're out of pass range there. We could pass to Locus, and that kind of neuters Vitriol a little bit, but it will bring Catalyst's wrath upon Locus. We could attempt to kick it to Mother, but that is a very tricky kick with 2 people in the way.
Yeah.
And I don't have composure. Spoiler alert as a plot card. So, Colossus has got close control, which is a nice thing to have. He's stalling, just as am I, to try and work out what to do. Do you know what? Colossus is not a bad ball handler to have. I think the worst thing that's going to happen is Catalyst is going to charge into Locus, and Locus is going to get knocked down.
I'm engaged, so I wouldn't be able to knock you down.
Ah, yeah, you'd have to walk your way around, wouldn't you?
So I have to walk forward.
Yeah.
Roughly an inch. But his knockdown is on 2.
Exactly.
With 8 tack.
It's quite 8 tack he's got when he's on fire.
Yeah.
I'm
not worried.
What a mean gentleman that he is. What's his move when he normally walks or runs? Is it?
He's on a 6/8.
6/8. So basically knock Colossus down, do some pain.
He can ignore a push, but he doesn't ignore.
Yeah, it doesn't ignore. I was like, oh, ladies and gentlemen at home, pause the video and beg for me to make the right choice. I am going to. I'm going to take a swing. Do you know what? I'm going to take a swing. I think that's probably the smartest thing to do. So I get 2 extra attack, and also kicking it to Locus will potentially just delay the game a little bit, and we don't like doing that in any way. So, final swing, +2 for the singled out. 3s and 1. Roll better, Tom, please.
And I do believe they heard you a little.
Yeah, you heard me a little bit. That is 4. Yeah, screw it. Unexpected arrival. Momentous unexpected arrival. So that is going to be a 4-inch push directly away for everyone within 3 inches, which is... Vitriol gets a tiny nudge there.
Tiny nudge.
And Harry will scoot. He can take his hat and he can leave. And do I want to push this gentleman? That's the question. Do you know what? I'd rather push him. I'd rather him move and come and deal with me than not. So I'm going to chuck him back. That might be a foolish error, but this is probably my inexperience of dealing with the Alkies.
At least with this guy.
Yeah, at least with this gentleman, because when he hits very, very hard. But we're going to go with that, and we'll go back to the Alchemists and see what they do next.
So right, we'll have a go, since it does seem the most straightforward and cinematic way
The
of
target
doing
is
this.
there, isn't it?
I've been pushed back. That is completely unacceptable.
We're going to knock you out now.
You pushed me back, like he skidding along the line of really ripping up the field, more than likely. Almost like this cartoonish running on the field. Yeah. And then straight back.
Straight back in.
So more like a yo-yo.
So you could charge, and I could take a defensive stance, or you could walk in and hit me. What are you going to choose to do?
The thing is, with the defensive stance, even with that, it's
3 and 2. I'd be still gonna.
Very likely I'll have wrapped my playbook at 6 anyway.
Yeah.
Which isn't a big problem. Walking up gives me more than likely 1 momentum extra, which is probably more useful overall. So I'll just do that, I think.
So he just mercifully walks forward to kind of get some revenge in.
It is far back, and then it's okay. This
is how it is. This is the 2 titans going at it.
So this is how you want to play it. Huh? So that gets me almost in your face.
Yep. There's no point me counter-attacking because 2s and 2 with 8 tack you've got to play with here is realistically going to be.
That should be enough.
Very little. So yeah, roll your dice there, good sir. You've got
2, 4, 6, 8. Yep.
Colossus doing exactly what Colossus does, a big scrum in the middle of the pitch.
All is well. Oh, let's see.
So 2s and 2. That is not too bad at all. 1 miss and then 2 away for armor.
So yeah, well, that makes 5 hits. That'll be enough, I believe. I think that should be. Well, I'm actually choosing to do a knockdown.
A knockdown. So, knockdown on Colossus, and the ball will scatter. So, do you want to?
Yeah. So direction on the white one then. These are the way.
2 and 3. So it's basically just going back over Catalyst's head.
Yeah.
Pretty much there.
That's pretty okay.
Okay.
Well, we can have a. He's on his legs, so we'll just have another go at him. There's no point in me snapping the ball right now. I can do that a little later.
You will gain an extra die because I can't go below 2 defense.
So then I'm up to 9.
9 tack now.
That should be good. We had that's 6, 7, 8, and 9.
2s and 2 again. Good chance of a wrap here.
One can hope. One can hope.
Oh, that is it. Yeah, that's 1 miss.
1 miss and 2 off for armor.
Full playbook.
That I think should be a full playbook. I think he has 6. Yeah, he has 6 playbook. So that would be, I guess, a momentous external combustion.
And that is 3 damage, isn't it?
That's 3 damage. It also counts as a push.
So it's tough hide, so I go down to 2.
Yeah.
If you want to do the push, it'll trigger the stoic.
I can do the push as well, of course.
It's
might as well. It's a
Get
combo
out of the way.
anyway. So
Is it fire or anything on top?
there's fire on top. Yeah.
Fire on top, so the machine is knocked down and flaming. It's not a good time to be Colossus.
Yep. And we'll use 1 more for another attack as well.
So you're back up to your 9 tack.
Yep.
2 titans slugging it out on the pitch.
And it seems to be going quite harshly for both.
Yeah. 2s and 2. Everything here. You got your wrap that you wanted there.
That I did. Then I get a full playbook and 1. So that makes 4 external combustions and a push.
So down to 2 again. So that knocks me on 15 health.
Yeah.
And you can use your push this time.
Yes. So then I'm going to this will be 2 momentous results as well. So I'm up to 4. That's pretty good. I think that's 4.
1 for
First
the
one was
pass that you didn't have to spend.
Yeah.
And then you charge me and knock me down, which
Yes.
is momentous.
That was not momentous.
Was it not momentous, the knockdown?
Yeah, I did the damage
Oh, yes.
and knockdown.
And then 2 momentous damaging results, so 3, I think. That is.
Yeah, that's good.
If
And
not, I'll
then
put it
on
in
the right
editing.
Yeah, we'll say 3. That makes more sense. And then I have 1 left.
So, is it 1-inch push or 2-inch push?
It's a 1-inch push. And then, I don't really want her engaged now, so I'll push it that way.
Just chuck him onto the cover, I'll lift him up there. He's floating on a proxy base.
Yeah.
There
So
we go.
Just nick him in there.
And then you've got the ball free still and 1 influence to play with.
Well, actually, I think I will just push it straight away, so it actually then clears me to pass.
Yep, so
That
just
makes
straight
more
backwards a little bit.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
So just there.
So let me just get out of my zone
There you go.
and use the last one to pass to the draw. So hopefully the dice gods will be nice to me.
What's Catalyst Kick?
It's 2.
2. So you could bonus time.
I have bonus time, and I probably should.
I always do this in match reports. I'm like, you could probably do this. It's like, yeah, I'll probably do that then.
It is probably a good idea.
So that'll knock you down to 2 momentum, and then 3 dice kick to Vitriol, who's not been engaged or anything.
So hopefully it'll be fine. That's
Oh,
okay.
the bonus time was worth it.
I hope so, please. It might have been one of the other dice, but I don't want to think about that.
You
It's
could
okay.
dodge, or you could just
Yeah.
spend it to just keep hold of it.
If I dodge forward, I basically expose myself. There's no point
Yes,
in doing
pretty
that.
much.
I will need to run up here, dodge off him to get the shot next time, if I still have the ball. That is. But she's reasonably uncomfortable there.
Yes. So you're going to keep hold of the momentum,
I'll keep hold of the momentum there.
and we will go back to the engineers.
Right, this is a tricky one then. So we've taught this at length. Pushing luck is the theme of this match report, isn't it? Really. So
You're pushing your luck in either
I
of
am
those 2 scenarios you were looking at.
very much pushing my luck in either scenario. So I think Vitriol is going to take the parting blow from Midas, and she's going to aim to move to somewhere along. So Velocity even is going to take the parting blow, and she's going to aim to move somewhere along that position there. So
The worst case scenario now is I get 5 hits.
yes, so
Then you're knocked down.
I immediately leave your melee zone at that stage. So I'll still be within the inch of cover, but you gain +2 from
Yeah.
the party blow and +1 for Naha. So he'll be on 8 tack,
8 tack, yeah.
needing 5s, and your knockdown is on 5 hits.
5.
So if there's an amazing roll, you'll
Then-
be all good. I think you can roll there, mate. I think should be alright.
Yeah, I'll be fine.
5 pluses. Ooh, so a lot of 4s.
That's a ton of 4s. That's 3 hits.
3 hits.
That is it's just a 1 damage.
Just the 1 damage. So she gets away with it. But this is only the start of the pushing of the luck. Velocity will have to go to this position then. She's got 3 influence to play with, so
She
she's
needs to
within.
keep within this zone as well.
Yeah,
She
so-
gets another one.
Oh yeah, good point. So stay there.
Yeah.
So she's gonna. Oh, this model is the worst balanced thing in the world. Kind of. Do you know what? I'm just gonna put that there. That's velocity for the activation for a second.
Yeah, I'm not sure. What did you do to that
It's
poor
just
model?
it's she's pinned through her leg and she's just a little bit lopsided, I think. So.
A little lopsided. That's, yeah. No.
So we're going to go there, and we're going to take a swing at Vitriol. Now, I'm going to have to bonus time this, because I'm going to be on -2 tack, so I will go from 4 down to 2, up to 3.
Do my counter attack too.
So, push dodges and things from Vitriol are quite scary, so we need 1 hit, basically. We want the momentous tackle, ideally. If we get 3 hits off all 3 dice, life is amazing, but we won't push our luck, so we need 5 pluses. 1 hit, which is enough for the momentous tackle.
Yeah. And then I get to hit back.
Yeah, I can't remember how much momentum. Did I take the momentum away? I can't even remember. I've got 3 in front of me. We'll go with that. If I've robbed myself of momentum, it makes no odds.
Yeah, you'll get 1 from this one anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm using 1, so that makes it. She has 5. Then she gets 2 friends.
Yep.
So hopefully all is well.
After 5 pluses.
I'm after 5 pluses. I just need 1. I get 2.
2.
That's a tackle back.
She has close control, remember.
Yeah. And then I need to. I don't really get to do much useful with that. Then if she has close control, then it is essentially a push dodge, which doesn't really apply. So then it is just it's either the tackle or the 1 damage. With close control, is actually really little point to actually doing it at all.
Do you want to take it back? We can.
Nah, I've done it. It's fine. So it's just 1 damage basically.
1 damage?
Yeah. It is something I need to remember as well, since this is also a team that I barely ever played against.
It's one of those things, we were talking through it before the activate, before we like recorded, but we talked about like 20 different things, so it's kind of, it's one of those things that goes.
Yeah.
Right, pushing luck time, phase 2. She's got an 8-inch kick to play with, and she can do an acrobatic dodge. Now, realistically, I either stay in Narza's zone and kick from there with a clear ball path, or I go over here and I kick through Harry. Either way, I'll lose a die.
Yeah.
So, I think for peace of mind and safety, I'm going to dodge to that position there. So as we can see, still within the 8 inches. That will cost 1 for the acrobatic. And then Velocity is going to have a shot on goal with her last one. So I've got 3 momentum in front of me. Whether I've lost one along the way, I would have probably said on editing, but never mind. I'm going to bonus time the shot, so I stay at my 4 dice kick, because I'd lose 1 for Harry on the ball path.
Yes.
And we'll see if she can bang in goal number 2, needing a 4+. A screamer of a goal.
Ah, well.
So that is...
So she's a bonus time the month, yeah?
So she's gained herself another 4 points, and I think she is going to make a 4-inch dodge with one of those. I think that's probably a good move.
Yeah, probably is quite wise.
I think it's tempting to annoy Vigil and just engage her. Maybe. I always do this. I engage when I probably shouldn't, but Midas is the other option. So I think I'm going to dodge to... Oh, where am I going to dodge? Where am I going to dodge? I'm going to dodge there, actually. I'm going to dodge within snapshot range. If I'm not going to
Might as well.
end the game, I might as well try.
Yeah.
So...
We'll have a go at this then and see where we...
Yeah, we'll kick the ball out
again.
and we'll see how we do.
Yeah.
Well, this could be very cool then, couldn't it?
It can be very cool. If
Talk
it works.
the viewers through the plan then, because we've mapped it out here for you.
Yeah. The first part is the momentum to get myself the dodge.
So that's his promise of fortune.
Yep.
To snap the ball.
That gets me the ball. And I need to use 1 for sprint.
So he's going to run up to Pinvice just outside of that rush keeper range that we've marked out.
Yeah.
He's going to take a swing.
1 swing. And if I miss this, I am royally... Yeah.
Are we going to go for the bonus time, perhaps?
I think that might be
Might be a
wise.
good option. I am going to take a... You're going to be on your base 6 tack, aren't you, because of the
base
cover?
6, yeah.
I'm going to take a fluky guess that you might miss, so I'm going to go for a counter-attack here. And basically, we're hoping for the 1-inch dodge, and then a shot straight over Compound's face.
That's basically the idea.
So, we are after 5 pluses. We're on 6 tack, because we've had the bonus time, so we go plus-minus, basically.
Yeah, so I just need the 1.
Just need a hit. Oh, you got that. 2
got
hits.
2 hits.
Fantastic. You have got the counter-attack coming, though.
Yeah, it's enough with the... I
you've
can
got-
do my... I just think I can use my push dodge.
You could use a non-momentous push dodge, get her out of the way, and then you've got your 1 momentum left for the shot.
Yeah, well, I would have loved to use it on this time, so that I actually get out of her zone in there? That is the question.
Just to there. You can always push her as well if you do the push dodge.
Yeah, that would have to be the option if I can't actually get out of
think-
her...
The 1-inch dodge is only going to be a base width, isn't it? So you could dodge there.
That would just get me inside as well.
Yep, and that is...
Then I can keep the momentum for the shot, so get a bonus time on the shot, which I need.
Do you want to push Pinvice anywhere? Oh no, you can't because it's the 1-inch momentous dodge, isn't it? So yeah, we are saying that he's there, and he is clearly
He's clear.
an inch away. And he's got 1 left
1 left and a bonus time.
for a bonus time shot. So he's going for his... He'd lose the dice and he gains the dice, so he's on his 3 dice kick, isn't he?
And if he scores, he gets his legendary topped off as well, which is only then pin-wise, but hey.
So we're going to go for the magnum opus as well.
Well, I doubt it actually is. It doesn't actually seem like you have the choice whether or not you can trigger it if you look at the playbook.
Really, it's just a case of you have it.
If you
It's one of those
if
ones
you
like-
score, it doesn't actually seem to there. You may. There is no you may there.
Tell us in the comments. I think it's like Catalyst Witness Me. You know, when you have to declare it before. I think tournament players will know this.
What it basically reads is when this model scores a goal, enemy models within 4 of this model suffer the snare condition. There is no may or if. There is.
It just happens.
Happens.
I think it's one of those things you declare before the shot. But yeah, either way, Pinvice is going to get a dead leg, potentially, if this goes in. So you've got a 3 dice kick.
Yeah.
So you spend your 1 momentum for the shot and 1 for the bonus time.
Yeah.
Come on, Midas, can you still be the godly goal scorer you are?
We shall see.
Can he smash it past compound? He can with the 1 success. Fantastic. Well done, sir. And that knocks you up to 4 points. So
And it does.
8-4. Pinvice gets a snare token, which I have just here. Would you like to make any showboating dodge? Because you gain a point of momentum, but obviously you can...
I'll actually use my knee slider, thank you.
I am also going to play a plot card. I'm going to play Who Are You?
Yeah.
Just to chuck a vengeance token out. So feel free to do your knee slider, good sir. I'll tell you what, we'll do it off camera, and then we'll show you afterwards where he ended up. And the theme of the match report is, this could be really good if it works. So we've done a lot of measuring just now. I've got 1 momentum to play. We've got 1 momentum each, and realistically I want the snapshot to velocity that you can see in the background there, just here. There's lots of ways that Pinvice could go about it, but they all bring Vitriol's Wrath relatively close, which we don't particularly like. So Pinvice has got a 9-inch sprint which goes down to 7 because she's snared. I don't want to spend my momentum to clear my conditions, which would be great because I wouldn't have it for the snapshot. So she's about half an inch away from the ball, so she's going to go dunk and then zigzag to this position here with the ball for 1 for a sprint. She is going to spend 1 to put deletion on Locus, which gives him +1 damage to his playbook result and, more importantly, a free bonus time. And then she's going to try and kick it to him using her 4 dice kick to the big boy. So, nails it, which generates me a point of momentum, which I'm going to have to spend to make a 4-inch dodge. We should also say Midas knee slid his way around there, which is why we're having to do this kind of janky movement. And I'm basically going to make a 4-inch dodge so that I am at the very extremities of Vitriol's scary range. So I think if I go about there, I can just about move with a little bit of a turn to get into that position there with the ball. And we will see what the Alchemists do next. So Vitriol squeezing through the tiniest of gaps.
Yes,
Here,
yes.
there's a perfect base width between Catalyst and Colossus.
So that seemed very, very sensible. It's a good thing I pushed him that direction.
Exactly.
Anyways, she gets through.
She's staying just outside of 2, but obviously because of Locus's gravity well, if he's being engaged, it'll yank her directly towards, so she will go base to base. So that's 1 for a sprint.
Yeah, it's 1 for a sprint and 3 more to play with. It is tricky. It is actually especially because of his playbook, it is a very tricky play, and it makes it. It's not good odds on it, but I don't have really much of a choice. I'll let you else if this makes you fairly easy, or makes you a fairly easy way to finish it.
Yes.
But I'm also trying to force you to use that momentum, so you need to generate 1.
Exactly.
And 1 more afterwards. That might be more tricky.
Yeah, it's forcing me to not have the snapshot, and I think that's the biggest issue, isn't it, here? So you're going to swing for an attack.
I'm going to swing for an attack.
I am going to counter with my single 1, so we're both down to 0 momentum.
Yeah. So then I get my
6 stack, is it?
It's 5 + 1 for the bonus time.
Oh yeah, of course. And then you need 3s and 2.
Yeah. If I get all of these,
then you get what you need.
I get what I want.
You want the clone, really, don't
I want
you?
the third one. So I basically want 3 hits.
Oh, it's done you out of it there. So 3s and 2, so then 2 armor. So that's 2 hits.
So that was close. But a little more I can do with it. What I can essentially do with it is to tackle it.
Yep.
So then at least I have the ball. So if you then do your counter attack, then
this is the kind of good thing about Locus having it, because it's at least if it gets knocked down and scattered away, he has a chance of using his remote control. But I'm going to use my free bonus time from deletion, just because it just to make sure I try and get a hit. So I need 5+.
Yep.
Just as well that I did. That will be the knockdown on Vitriol.
Yes.
And the ball is going to scatter. So I think it's the 1 point to yours because you're the active player, I presume.
Sure, why not?
So I'll clear all this out of the way. So which way is it going to go, good sir?
That is a good question. Let's see.
It's going in the 4 inches.
4.
That is not too bad for you at all, really, isn't it? That's quite a friendly. And then to the middle.
Yeah.
There.
Not ideal, but it's the best we can do. I can then not attack, but I think I can still use character plays.
Character plays can't be used when she's on her backside.
Unfortunately, no. What I should have done really to begin with was actually hard cast clone to begin with.
Yeah.
But anyways, then those two just go down the drain, and I've learned something new.
Which is what we're after anyway. Right, so we will go back to the engineers with a really awkward ball position. So, again, thinking things through, very tricky. So, Mother's going to put a nest here, within 4 inches. She's immediately going to spend her 1 influence that she's got on her to teleport and burrow over to the other side of it. Just staying outside, she should be. Actually, might have to go a bit on this side of it. Just staying 2 inches away from Mr. the Hat.
Probably a good idea to stay out of the
Would
hat.
be good to stay out of the hat, and hopefully we'll see if we can do something cool with Locus in a second. So back to you, mate.
So,
Mascot Fury.
So we have this little thing to play with. Second. So we'll have a go with it. Naja is comfortably within 4. Well, comfortably is not quite the best word for it, but
She
it's
can see minus, that's the main thing.
she's close enough. So we'll try working on that one as well.
So she's going to make her free charge.
So, yeah, so we're gonna make a free charge on that.
I'm going to brace for impact,
It's probably wise.
and I'm going to choose the Stoic, so ignore the first push.
Okay.
Just because Naha is a pain with that.
Yeah, she does have surprisingly much push. Anyways, we'll just essentially go straight into your base.
Yep.
Yeah, well, if we're on the lower side, I'll actually be pushing you up there, making a pass very awkward.
Very, very tricky.
So we'll go on this side here. There. So let's see how those dice do.
So you're on 3 tack base.
3 attack and another 4
Plus
for
4 for the charge, and you're after 4s on one another. We're both in the momentum race now, aren't we, really, for the next turn to try and get ahead.
Yeah. So we'll see how that goes.
So 4s and 1 you are after here on the charge. Poor Mother, she's taking a massive beating in this for momentum.
Well, it's what she's here for.
That's 4 down to 3 hits.
3 hits. Not amazing, but
So full playbook at least.
yeah, it is a full playbook. So we'll be, I guess, might as well just do the 2 damage on it. It's
2
not
damage?
really much more useful thing she can do.
She'll knock Mother down to 7 HP, but she's
Also poisoned.
and poison, and Nahai is just in the way, which is where Nahai needs to be, really.
Yeah.
So, back to the engineers then.
Yeah. So if you generate a little momentum, you should be pretty good for the next turn.
Hopefully, yes. Back to you, mate. Potentially contentious decision, but I'm going to leave the ball behind because, we are in thinking about next turn now. So I am going to move Locus round to hit Catalyst. So I have got 5 tack base plus 2 for singled out. Has he got ignores knockdown or anything?
No.
Big man?
No, it doesn't have something like that.
So I'm after 3s and 1.
You've been playing too much engineers, man.
I know. Just knocked the ball flying, it was about there. Dunk, that's 5. Is going to be... so many momentous options. I'm just going to go with momentous knockdown.
You might as well go for that.
And then
Yeah.
I will swing again. And we are now after 2 pluses. Keep nudging this ball further and further away. Dice everywhere as well. 2 pluses. And then 1 armour. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is going to be a momentous 3 up to 4 because of deletion. Double push. Which could open up avenues here, I think. So I'm going to push him. Where is the best place to push this man? I think I'm going to chuck him wide.
just because I need to clear this pathway. I think for next turn. I think I could have pushed him back a bit towards Mother, but Mother is a vending machine at this stage. So that's 2 momentum gain for me, and Locus is going to also take a point of damage because of deletion. And who have you got left?
That is finished.
Finished? Because I've still got my goalie, so...
Let's see. It's, of course, Calculus.
Calculus, of course. So we'll go to Calculus and we'll see what she does in a sec.
Right, so we have just Calculus left. She'll essentially just saunter over to this spot.
Into the conga line of players that we've got here.
We essentially are building a wall.
We are. It's almost like a Mason's teeth.
Yeah, we are. So now we're in a proper scrum in the middle here, should we say?
And we will go back to Compound to end the turn.
Easy one to finish the turn. Compound is going to spend 1 just to have a waddly sprint just to that position there. So he's within 4 inches of the back of the goal. And then we are rolling off. So I have got 2 momentum.
Yep.
You have got 0, sir. Should we roll this position here if we can?
We can.
So 5 and 5. So unsurprisingly, I'm going to go first, which will give you a point of momentum going into turn 3.
Yeah, well, good luck with that one then.
Right then, so this is how things look at the start of turn 3, and potentially engineers could close this out here, barring awful dice rolling. So, Pinvice has got 6 on her. She's going to hopefully go and fetch the ball and control Locust and kind of push ahead. Locust has got 4 on him, just in case of any potential issues. Velocity's on 3, and just behind Colossus, you can't quite see it, he is on 2. You're basically set up just in case this shot misses, aren't you, mate? So we've got
more or less. It's more for the viewer's sake than for actual... odds are extremely high you should pull this off.
We're hoping, but I have been riding my luck so much with the kicks. So we've got Harry on 4, is he at the back?
He's on 4 on the back, so if you do miss, I will go to top.
Yeah, generate loads of momentum.
Yeah.
Catalyst 3, I think.
He has 4 as well.
4 as well. Midas.
He has 3.
And
Vitriol has 2.
Vitriol has 2.
In case she actually gets to do something.
In case something happens. So we're going to go to the engineers' first activation and potentially second straight afterwards, and we'll see if this can be finalised.
Right, so Pinvice is probably going to mess this up, is what we're fearful of, but we're going to go for it. Pinvice has got 6. She's snared at the moment, which is slowing her down, so she's going to spend 1 to put Alternator on herself, which gives her her +2 move back. She's going to spend 1 to sprint her way, grabbing the ball to this position here. She is then going to take all of her items with her. She's then going to spend 3 influence to put Controller on Locus. And I wanted to put Alternator on Locus. I've just realised I have not got enough to do it. So it's going to be a regular shot I'll have to take, but we'll go for it anyway. And then she's going to spend her last one to kick it to the big man. So, 4 dice kick.
It should be fine. The only model in between is knocked down, so that'll be fine.
She just succeeds, which will generate me my point of momentum.
Yes.
The ball will go to Locus. I will not be making a dodge or anything.
That seems sensible. No need to take a big chance, but you don't need to.
Now, he has got influence to play with here, so we're going to chain activate straight to Locus. I think I might go for the charge, to be honest, because he's got a 6-inch charge, and I can't get within tap-in range now, because we've seen, because of the melee zone. You know, if I were to run that part of his base there, they are just out, so I think I'm going to have to...
Charging into Harry shouldn't be a big issue.
No, so I'm going to charge at Harry.
Need to make sure you stay out of
Okay.
You're all good.
Yes, so now has 2-inch melee range.
Yeah, she does.
Is going to get me anyway, aren't I?
You might have to take the parting blow on the way through there, but that should be
I might just stay in it, to be honest. I'll lose the dice on the kick, but I can generate a fair bit of...
Yeah, I should be able to generate enough if you have a way to get a dodge and such as well. You just
So we're going to go there.
Nip off.
For 2. So, we have got 5 dice base,
Yeah.
-1 for the crowding, +4 for the charge.
Yeah,
We are hitting Harry. Do you want to take a defensive stance here?
that's a good question. More than likely, I neither will do a lot of difference, but I'll do the defensive stance, yes.
The defensive stance. So 4s and 1.
Yeah.
Is he now?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not a bad roll.
Defensive stance made no difference whatsoever.
6 is the wrap, so I'm going to take the momentous knockdown and the momentous 3 damage 2-inch push, so you will get your rising anger.
Yep. Yeah, then I get 2 momentum for that I can never use really.
So I'm going to yank him out the way there. Locus is still being engaged by Naha,
Yeah.
but he's within 6 inches of the goal, and I'm going to spend 1 and a momentum to have a kick on goal, and I'm going to bonus time it.
Might as well.
So I go up to my 4 dice. So 4 dice, 6 inches, needing a 5+ to close out the game.
Over it.
Oh, you are kidding me! He has not done it.
No, it's fine. It's 4s he needs.
No, he's not within tapping range. Oh yeah, it's 4s, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've forgotten how this game works. Never mind. That is a
There's-
successful goal by Locus. I was thinking of
there's
the.
no one in the way.
I was thinking it's the pressure on the camera. So that is 12 points victory there. So handshake on camera, good sir.
So, there we go.
Fantastic game. And we'll go to the post-match interviews.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, after that fantastic footballing match. I think, once again, good to handshake, because that is a brilliant, brilliant game. Definitely one of the ones that I've enjoyed the most. And I was talking through the match that footballing teams do seem to be really good fun to record with, because...
Yeah, they are. They can be set up for a lot of interesting plays that also look pretty good on camera as well. And not only this, I go here and beat you with
I'm gonna hit you.
my proverbial or literal stick.
It's one of those ones where, in that game, many times me and myself and Stig just kind of turn around and went, that'll be cool, we'll try it.
Yeah.
Or, we'll go for that. And as you saw, that's how most of the goals came about.
Yeah.
So the big question is then, how did the nerf-battered players, in your mind, fare?
That's a good question in one sense. They did do more or less the same things that they did before. So that part is true. At least the one that I noticed significantly the change is the lack of now momentous damage from
Vitriol.
From Vitriol in particular.
Midas still does what Midas does. It's 2-inch dodge and everything. The super shot we mentioned was
Yeah.
an issue earlier on that he could have maybe got an early goal, but he still blasted through compound. But Vitriol, you said, could have potentially deleted Mother,
Yeah.
generated a ton of momentum.
At the same time.
Yeah.
Which was basically the larger difference you could really notice from the playing.
Whereas you saw more
Yeah.
push dodges.
She ended up having to do push dodges
and
instead.
clone and things like that, whereas realistically when she's running in with like 8 tack,
Yeah.
in the patch she'd just be pulverising something, couldn't she?
Yeah, she could be quite easily doing 10-15 damage on a very good day.
Yeah. How about Mr. The Hat?
Uh,
Very much supported. You played him almost
Yeah.
like a defensive midfielder.
he is a defensive midfielder, so I suppose that.
There we go. So it's a case of, did you
Yeah.
find your play style change knowing you couldn't output the damage, or were you quite happy just to have that controlling?
He is fine as is, I would think. But what I enjoyed with him before, particularly, is the fact that he could chip a little bit.
Yes.
He would not generally be able to delete a player himself. He could do a little chip damage.
If you didn't want to just do the pushes all the
Yeah.
time, you could do a knockdown and start taking 2 HP reliably off, couldn't
Yeah.
you, each time?
You could do 1, 2, maybe even 3 on a good day
Yeah.
of every turn, and that is also quite decent. Then you basically are taking off 6-ish HP
Yeah.
and setting up for a pretty easy kill.
Which is almost a third of most people's health, at least, or
Yeah.
almost a half, isn't it?
So he definitely has a very big role change in the sense. I was also very much debating this avarice and greed versus versus Harry.
I think the new A&G, because we didn't
Yeah.
mention this in the introduction, but this is the first time you've certainly played your Alchemist since this errata change, and I think having A&G is a lot to think about, isn't it? Yeah. Until you've played with them and you've got this new knockdown specialist version down, I think you would have been kind of like, what can I do now? You kind of get caught between the two minds with it, because they can still use influence from each. Well, the greed can still activate at the same time, don't they? And it's
They do, and you allocate influence to them separately. Even if
Greed's off
Greed's
the pitch.
off the pitch, it can still do that. So in a sense, I think it might be, depending on the matchup or depending on your mood of the day, I suppose, is a very viable option.
How did you feel the game went for the Alchemists in terms of the flow of play? Because there seemed to be a very tactical chess match first turn, and then Colossus and Cat in the middle just created this big conga line scrum, which I think they're both designed to do, really, aren't
And they are pretty much doing that. It was very interesting in the sense that well, you got the ball to begin with, and you managed to keep the sort of footballing momentum going.
Yeah.
So you managed to keep ahead.
I think it's using that legendary play in the first turn. I don't really get much use out of it in later turns, because I don't think... I'm still not there positioning-wise, I think. So in the first turn, having them all on the back line, just being able to ping it.
Yeah. I also, this is the first time I'm playing against engineering.
Exactly.
So it's an interesting learning experience, and I can see a lot why the sort of notion is there that they're sort of opposites that can go either way.
Yes.
Also, they're very contentious. There's a lot of contest there.
It's one of those games where you can steamroll very quickly with the engineers if you can get in your positioning, or you can fall apart, especially with Pin Vice, because she's so delicate.
Yeah.
And we mentioned in between our recordings that in early turns she's very much, I find, a battery, and in later turns you saw what she did at the end. She just went, well, I'm pushing ahead and I'm getting this goal.
Yeah, you can do a lot of work with her as
Yeah.
well. And same as Midas is doing, just what he was doing before.
He was ticking over with 3 or 4 each turn, wasn't he? And he was happily...
He was happily doing more than enough, so that's perfectly fine. What I ended up with in there, I felt like Victor got a little stuck in the middle there, and got a little tied up. So maybe it wasn't the wisest to actually commit her in there to begin with.
It was always,
But
she was
still.
exerting that pressure that she normally does, but I think...
She could have probably done better being a bit more on the side and
Like on
just
wing.
letting Catalyst do his work in the middle more in peace.
It was nice seeing that new character play that I've been burnt before, taking advantage. I think it's very clever at the start, because Catalyst starts on fire, so...
Yeah, he also often ends up being fairly close to her to begin with anyway. And the first turn he has little to no influence for a reason.
He's not punching anything, is he?
No, so he might as well just move up right behind and do this type of activation. So the kickoff pressure is still more or less identical as before.
It's a very good trick for new Alchemist players that keep those two close to each other, because then Vitriol is, like you said, exerting the pressure she did before.
The difference is only that you need this one extra activation that gives the other player
Time to move the ball.
a little time to avoid the worst of the pressure.
Or cower away like I did, run backwards with this guy, the big hulking machine, running behind the goalie.
Yeah, that's also an option of doing it, getting out of the threat range. It's perfectly viable. But one of the things that I know will probably gave me the most issues is the amount of close control we have.
Yes, I think it's 3 models on the pitch with close control with Pin Vice, Colossus and Velocity, and then you've got Gluttonous Mass on Compound, and you've got Locus with his Suction, Knockdown. They are all a pain.
All of them are very difficult to get the ball off.
Yeah, and then there's Reanimate, so you can't even just say, I'll kill one of them.
Yeah.
They're a pain in the neck in that sense.
In that sense, they're actually quite difficult to deal with while they're doing their normal footballing.
Yes.
So they're a very interesting team to play or play against as well.
You do need to get that momentum in the bank with the Engineers, I found. If you've got momentum for the counter-attack, and then you write that close control, that tech, they've got the defensive abilities, is then there to nick a ball back. Or any standout players that you thought, or anything that you thought was a key swing part of the match? Because I thought that kind of second goal for me...
That was probably a bit Yankee play, but it was also sort of a 50-50 one. So
Yeah,
it was a fairly... that probably sealed the deal, probably. After that I would have a very hard time getting back, as well as then have just basically forced into the activation for Vitriol, this oddity of going through 2 players and just barely getting there, and she couldn't really get the ball off.
She couldn't get the charge that she wanted to maybe get a ball and a dodge.
It's one of the two. One maybe I could have done with actually activating
the clone
beforehand, which I talked about as well. So
it's one of those things you see afterwards, though. We talk about it on camera so much. You're like, we obviously play behind the scenes, we plan all the moves out, and you get into the right, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, press record, and then afterwards it's like,
it's also
there's a better way of doing that.
That's also one thing. It's also I saw this right in what I was doing, but I already committed to what I was doing. So
should have done this before.
But so when I got there, I started realizing. But I basically already started swinging.
Yes.
Then I saw what was happening and how the dynamic worked between the 2 models.
Yes.
And
it's always that way.
Have the clone first.
It's always that way with new matchups, isn't it? I mean, very much. I am very fearful just from name of Vitriol, Midas, Catalyst,
Yeah.
because of the damage. Say he was a pain, Calculus, and Naha just tying people up and just being a pain in the neck all the way through. I think Vitriol, as Velocity, having to weave her way through the parting blow and the melee zones. It's hard to notice that because there's so many mods around, but they are just not doing much, those Alchemist players, but they are contributing actively with a Noxious Blast or a 2-inch melee with Unpredictable.
For the most part, Calculus is quite predominant to begin with.
Yes.
The first 2 turns often, if that much even.
Yeah.
But at least the first turn is usually reliably out getting a little damage,
Yeah.
or making one piece of the pitch very unattractive.
Yeah, very much so. And then later, you know, if you want to chuck out a blind or something on a key model, you've got that viability to do so.
Yeah, you still have the nice toolbox or combination of Calculus and Harry that has both. One has the gold and the other has the blind. Those two are...
You can really mess with
Yeah.
most players. And she's got a very good little playbook.
Yeah.
You know, if she chooses to charge
Yeah.
into something, she can reliably mess them up quite well.
She has a very solid playbook for her. And I wish she should have a little bit more attack. That would be nice. I think she has 4. But you
Well,
always want
she
more
can
attack,
get up to
don't
3 damage, can't she, for like a regular player with a very short little playbook. But very, very good. So if you are interested in more content from STF, as I said, we will link below and put the link on the site. We need to make a journey up to Norway now, don't we, really? I think.
You do.
Not only because I've been presented with this, which is the best chocolates in the land. We've been talking Norwegian and British politics, but then it came down to chocolate and I've just been swayed. So I'm going to have to come back for a returning match, I think, just so I can go and raid your chocolate shops. And for our American viewers, this is the thing we've mentioned. We've got ArdCon coming up, and I think you're going to have scrambles for the
very likely
Americans after the Norwegian chocolate.
By the time you see this, it will be after Articon. Yeah. So then I can tell you that everyone is actually getting chocolate from us. Then everyone that's getting that have paid in time, that is actually getting in their swag bags.
That is a good reason to give these guys a subscription, that they give free chocolate. If you want to support these guys, they've got a Patreon available, which is incredibly successful Patreon. There's a lot of things, a lot of goodies that you can access.
There you have tons of perks from it.
It's like Dyson t-shirts and extra content and all that.
And a lot of actually things like 20% at
Art of War discounts, is it? You've got
at the Deep Cut Studios.
Deep Cut Studios, which you'll see some of the mats that we've used in the past, which are fantastic mats. So if you want to, go and have a look in that related channels links and give them a subscription, as always, for helping us out. Massive thank you again, Stig. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on the channel. And
it's been lovely here.
We're going to catch up at SteamCon, aren't we? We're definitely going to try and see if we
see what we can do
in the next event that we can possibly get hold of. But as always, I've been Tom from T&G Productions. We hope you have a fantastic day and enjoy the battle report, and drop us some comments and let us know in the future. See you later. Bye.